Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're tackling a question that's on everyone's mind, especially with prices seeming to go up all the time. Is inflation actually good for the economy? It sounds crazy, right? We're all feeling the pinch at the grocery store and the gas station. How could rising prices possibly be a good thing? Well, the answer is a lot more complicated than you might think. Stick around, because we're going to break it all down in a way that makes sense, without any of the confusing economic jargon. First, let's get on the same page. What exactly is inflation? Simply put, it's the rate at which the general level of prices for goods and services is rising, and subsequently, purchasing power is falling. Your dollar just doesn't stretch as far as it used to. When you hear that inflation is at 3%, it means that, on average, a basket of goods that cost you $100 last year will cost you $103 this year. Now, there are a few different types of inflation, but the one most economists are concerned with is this steady, general rise in prices across the board. So, why would anyone think this is a good thing? Let's start with the biggest argument in favor of moderate inflation. It encourages spending and investment. Think about it. If you know that the money sitting in your bank account will be worth slightly less next year, you have an incentive to use it now. You might decide to finally buy that new car, renovate your kitchen, or invest in stocks. When people and businesses spend and invest, it fuels economic activity. Companies hire more workers to meet demand. Those workers then have more money to spend, and it creates a positive cycle of growth. This is a key reason why central banks, like the Federal Reserve in the US, actually aim for a small amount of inflation, usually around 2% per year. They see it as the grease that keeps the wheels of the economy turning smoothly. Another surprising benefit of moderate inflation is that it can make it easier for wages and prices to adjust. In an ideal world, if a company is struggling, it might need to reduce its labor costs. In a world with zero inflation, this would mean cutting employees' nominal wages, which is a huge blow to morale and almost never happens. But with a little bit of inflation, a company can simply give smaller raises or freeze wages. Your paycheck might still be going up, but because prices are also rising, your real wage or purchasing power might actually go down slightly. It's a less painful way for the labor market to adjust, preventing widespread layoffs during tough times. It's a subtle but powerful mechanism that adds flexibility to the economy. Furthermore, inflation helps borrowers. This might be you if you have a mortgage, a student loan, or a car loan. Let's say you took out a $300,000 mortgage with a fixed interest rate. As inflation rises over the years, the real value of that debt decreases. The $300,000 you owe in 20 years will be worth much less than it is today. At the same time, your wages will likely have increased due to inflation, making your fixed monthly payments feel smaller and more manageable relative to your income. In this sense, inflation can be a transfer of wealth from lenders to borrowers, since a huge portion of the population carries some form of debt. This can provide a widespread, albeit slow, form of financial relief. Now, hold on. Before you start wishing for higher prices, let's talk about the dark side of inflation, because when it gets out of control, it's a completely different story. The biggest and most obvious danger is the erosion of purchasing power. If your income doesn't keep up with the rate of inflation, you are getting poorer in real terms. You can buy less with the same amount of money. This hits people on fixed incomes, the hard-to-sink retirees living on a pension or savings. Their income is static, but their cost of living keeps rising. Every trip to the pharmacy or the grocery store becomes more stressful. Their hard-earned savings start to evaporate in value, threatening their financial security. High inflation also creates a lot of uncertainty, and businesses hate uncertainty. When prices are changing rapidly, it's difficult for a company to plan for the future. How much should they invest in a new factory if they can't predict the cost of materials or the price they can sell their products for next year? This uncertainty can cause businesses to pull back on investment and hiring, which can slow down or even reverse economic growth. It also distorts price signals. In a normal economy, a rising price for a product tells producers to make more of it. But in a high inflation environment, it is hard to tell if a price is rising because of genuine demand or just because of general inflation. This confusion can lead to a misallocation of resources, with companies investing in the wrong things. And then there's the infamous wage price spiral. This is a dangerous feedback loop that can lead to hyperinflation. It starts when workers, seeing prices rise, demand higher wages to maintain their standard of living. Businesses, facing higher labor costs, then raise their prices to protect their profit margins. This leads to workers demanding even higher wages, and the cycle continues, spiraling upwards. Prices and wages chase each other higher and higher, and currency can quickly become worthless. We've seen this happen in countries like Zimbabwe and Venezuela, where people needed wheelbarrows full of cash just to buy a loaf of bread. It's an economic catastrophe that destroys savings and destabilizes entire societies. So, where does that leave us? Is inflation good or bad? The reality is, it's a bit like a medicine. In small, controlled doses, it can be beneficial, stimulating the economy and preventing stagnation. Most economists agree that a low, stable inflation rate of around 2% is the sweet spot. It provides the benefits of encouraging spending and investment without the major downsides of eroding savings and creating uncertainty. It's a target that central banks around the world strive for. The problem, as we've seen recently, is that controlling inflation is incredibly difficult. It's not a precise science. Events like a global pandemic, supply chain disruptions, or wars can cause inflation to spike unexpectedly. When that happens, central banks have to step in and apply the brakes, usually by raising interest rates. This makes borrowing more expensive, which cools down spending and, hopefully, brings inflation back under control. But this process can be painful. Higher interest rates can slow the economy down too much, potentially leading to a recession and job losses. It's a delicate balancing act with very high stakes. So, to answer our original question, a little bit of inflation can be good for the economy. It's the sign of a dynamic, growing system, but it's a powerful force that must be carefully managed. Zero inflation, or deflation where prices are falling, is actually much more dangerous, as it leads people to hoard cash, stop spending, and can trigger a severe economic depression. On the other hand, high and volatile inflation is destructive, wiping out savings and creating chaos. The goal is to find that Goldilocks zone, not too hot, not too cold, but just right. It's one of the most important and challenging jobs for economic policymakers around the globe. What do you think? Has your perspective on inflation changed? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. It's a fascinating topic, and I'd love to hear what you have to say. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content just like this. We'll see you in the next one.